human.
Experimental whodunit game based on the latest AI technology to generate dialogue in real time.
Absolutely.
No way they're actually gonna talk to me.
Haskell.
Like Facade? No, Facade's not AI. I mean, I guess you could make some kind of argument that it's like pseudo AI, but not really. Type here or speak into your microphone. Okay, I have to fucking try this. Okay.
The second I stepped off the train into the city of Vaudeville, I could...
Oh, I didn't mean... I did not think that would skip it. Shit. Well, too late now. Ray tracing activated. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me? Oh. Hey. Hey, can you hear me? Oh.
Well, what's the point of being rich and living in vaudeville if we can't have a little fun and mischief? Don't
What?
worry, I'll cheer up soon enough.
I just said hey. Why are you trauma dumping? How do I speak to you? With my voice. I wonder if she says this every time. Oh wait, press F1.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand the
Wait,
prompt.
what's happening?
Could you please clarify or provide more context?
What if she says this every time? A white press F1 time? Oh, Jesus, wait, now it's hearing me. I'm white press F1 time. That's not what I said. Scratch. Scratch. How do I undo? Oh boy. This is going south. Okay. Reset. Let's get some information now. Now it's working. Good evening, Miss Potter.
Oh, hello there. I'm afraid I'm not feeling quite myself today. But don't you worry, I'll bounce back soon enough. Life's too short to stay down for long, wouldn't you say?
I concur, Miss Potter. What's got you down this evening?
Oh, just the usual, dear. The weight of my wealth and status can get a bit heavy at times. But there's nothing that can't be cured with a bit of shopping or a nice dinner party. And maybe a little mischief on the side, if you catch my drift.
I understand, Miss Potter. Prostitution is a viable career for a young lady your age, but I don't think it's morally acceptable.
Prostitution, you say? How quaint. No, my darling. The only profession that interests me is heiress. And as for my sadness, well, it's not like me to dwell on such things. A few glasses of bubbly and some good company, and all will be forgotten.
Yes, let sleeping dogs lie. The past is the past. But what do you know about the murder in Vaudeville, Miss Potter?
Murder? Why, how thrilling. I must admit, I do have a certain fascination with the darker side of life. But no, I'm afraid I don't know anything about the murders in Vaudeville. Although, I have heard some rumors about Monsieur Suxabar and a secretive project. But you didn't hear that from me, of course.
What is Monsieur Suxabar known for, exactly?
Well, dear, I'm not sure if I should be telling you this, but let's just say that Monsieur Suxabar is known for his interesting hobbies. Some say he dabbles in the occult, while others claim he's involved in some rather unsavory business dealings. But like I said, it's all just hearsay.
Have you ever used a Ouija board, Miss Potter?
A Ouija board? My goodness, no, I much prefer more hands-on methods of communication with the other side. But I suppose that's not something a respectable lady like myself should be discussing in public.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
I must say, dear, that's quite an inappropriate question. In any case, I don't see how that has anything to do with the current topic at hand. If you don't mind, let's try to keep this conversation on track, shall we?
I concur, Miss Potter. It was a reference to a classic film. I don't want you getting the wrong impression about me as a detective.
Such an interesting line of questioning. It almost seems like you're trying to distract me from something, doesn't it? But don't worry, darling. You can't ruffle my feathers that easily. After all, when you've been through what I have, you learn to take things in stride.
Who's that gentleman behind us, Miss Potter? Oh, I see. When I right mouse click, it takes me... Nope, no it doesn't. Oh god, Miss Potter, disregard everything I'm about to say. I'm speaking to the voices in my head. Don't answer any of this. Miss Potter, you make me sick. I'm just going to say it. I don't think you're as innocent as you claim to be, and you're at the top of my list of prime suspects in the murder of Miss Vaudeville. Or the murder in Vaudeville, Miss Potter. You harlot.
Ah, how disappointing. Here I was, hoping for a bit of entertainment, and all I met with is baseless accusations and hurtful words. But I suppose that's just the way of the world, isn't it? People are always so eager to point fingers and assign blame without ever stopping to consider the full picture. But don't worry, dear. I'm not one to be easily deterred. In fact, I'm quite looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. Who knows what kind of mischief we might uncover along the way.
Oh, boo fucking who, Miss Potter. Little wambulance crying about cancel culture per usual. I've had enough of your antics, Miss Potter. I'm going to go visit Monsieur Suxabar now. Good day.
Well, how terribly rude of him. But I must say, it's not often that I come across such a lack of decorum.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what I'm trying to solve, so I'm having a hard time figuring out what questions I should be asking. I'm gonna go find Monsieur Suxabar now. Where would he be? Probably at the Circus Suxabar would be my guess. That's probably where he resides. Yeah, I accidentally skipped the intro. So I don't know what happened. I'm assuming it's a murder. I will say, this is far more impressive than I thought it would be. Especially for a game that's so poorly reviewed from only like 9 players ever. I thought the AI would be extremely primitive, but it's actually responding moderately well to what I'm saying. Good evening, Monsieur Suxabar.
It's actually pronounced Monsieur, not Monster.
I didn't say monster.
But hello.
I said Monsieur.
I'm sorry. I don't understand the relevance of that statement.
I didn't say that.
Could you please clarify?
Enough fiddling around in the weeds, Monsieur Suxabar. Are you familiar with the murder that just happened in Vaudeville this evening?
Yes, I'm aware of the murders.
And do you have anything to say about them?
No, not really.
A cornucopia of valuable insight, Mr. Suxabar. I have on good authority that you are not exactly clean in these murders. Where were you on the night of the first slaying?
I'm sorry, but I cannot answer that question. As I said before, only Chief Greatsky and the police have the authority to formally accuse anyone.
I'm working with the police. And what is this about Chief Gretzky?
That's great.
Didn't realize I was dealing with a lobotomite. Monsieur Suxabar, are you aware it's a crime to lie to a detective?
I have nothing to hide, detective. But as a law-abiding citizen, I can't say anything without the presence of my lawyer.
How can I get in contact with your lawyer, Suxabar?
You can't.
And why is that?
Because my lawyer is unavailable at the moment.
What is he doing at the moment?
Excuse me, but what do my current activities have to do with the investigation?
I had a frog in my throat. I meant to ask, what is your lawyer doing that makes him unavailable at the moment?
My lawyer is currently out of town.
On what business?
Sorry, detective, but as far as I know, it's none of your business.
Damn. That is a really snappy AI.
What do you do for a living, Monsieur Suxabar?
Did not perceive that.
As stated earlier,
I wouldn't
I'm
either.
a lion tamer and the director of Circus Suxabar.
Are you aware that a couple years ago it was outlawed to use animals in the circus? I could have this entire operation shut down.
What?
You heard me. Don't play dumb.
That's news to me, Detective. But let me assure you that we do not use any animals in our circus that are not treated with the utmost care and respect.
Then you wouldn't have a problem if I questioned one of the lions you tamed, would you?
Be my guest, but I doubt the lion will be able to hold a conversation with you.
You're a tough nut to crack, Suxabar. I'll give you that.
Thank you, Detective.
Not a
Pride
compliment.
myself on my resilience and self-assuredness.
I actually think it's a negative quality, to be honest. You're not cooperating with our investigation. You're making it very difficult to get information on these murders of two innocent people.
Well, Detective, it's not my job to make your investigation easy. If you have any real evidence or questions to ask me, then let's hear them. Otherwise, please do not waste any more of my time.
I see when I'm beaten. Excellent work, Suxabar. I'll get out of your hair now.
Alright then.
Damn.
I just got fucking giga-chatted. What in the fuck was that? What AI was that? That was like War Games. I couldn't get through to him at all. I got cooked. Jesus Christ. Alright. Suxabar's, he's a tough foe. That's a silver-tongued devil. Alright, I need to know what, like, I don't even know what the situation is. Like, it's so hard. I wish I didn't skip the intro, but I'm in too deep now. Wow, Chief Gretzky, you look like death. What the fuck is this?
Well, Detective Martini, I don't feel like death. Is there anything in particular that gave you that impression?
Your ghoulish appearance. You're all skin and bones. When's the last time you ate a full meal, Gretzky?
I'm not sure if my appearance really concerns you, but I assure you that I eat regularly. Now, what brings you here, Detective?
What
Do
the
you have any new information on the case?
What the fuck do you eat, Gretzky? Like little cheese crumbs like a rat? Like, my god. This is disgusting. You make me sick, Gretzky.
Detective, it seems like you're making assumptions about my eating habits based on my physical appearance. However, if you have relevant news about the ongoing investigation, please share it with me.
What is the case? Can you break down the basics of the situation we're dealing with, Chief Gretzky?
Of course, the situation is quite serious. 3 people have been brutally murdered in Vaudeville in the last few weeks. We have reason to suspect there may be more than one perpetrator. Have you come with new information, or are you simply here to question my health and looks?
Your health and looks are repulsive. You look like a crack addict. But I am here to try and get more information about the specifics of the murders. Do we know what the method of killing was?
We don't know the exact methods, but we do know that they were caused by brutal attacks. The coroner's report should provide more detailed analysis. Why do you ask, Martini? Do you have any theories or leads on the case?
Frankly, Gretzky, I don't know what the case is.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you clarify?
I don't know who died, where, when, or why.
If that's the case, then what information do you have for me, and why did you come to me?
Gretzky, I don't have any information for you. I'm trying to get information out of you so I can help properly aid in this case.
All right, then what exactly do you want to know, and why do you think I would have that specific piece of information?
You're the fucking police chief, Gretzky. That's why I think you would have the information. I just need to know the very bare bones breakdown of what's happened in Vaudeville.
please don't make me talk about this again.
Was it traumatic for you, Gretzky? Is this case a little too close to home?
What do you mean by that, Martini? Are you suggesting that there's something personal to me in this case? Because I can assure you that my emotional state has nothing to do with my ability to handle this investigation.
I'm not questioning your resolve as the chief. I'm simply trying to understand why you won't provide me with more details around the situation.
Well, perhaps it's because you haven't given me a specific question to answer. If you asked me something specific, maybe then, as the chief, it would be easier for me to share information with you.
Who died?
Martini, I'm surprised you don't know this already. 3 individuals have been killed in the past couple of weeks. Maria Jansen, a 23-year-old blonde with a Scandinavian look, was found covered in blood outside her apartment in central vaudeville. Nicola Grossman, a 57-year-old man known in the finance world, was found in the morning outside Pascala's groceries shop. Haley Greenwood, a 19-year-old dancer, was found in an alley behind the club she worked at.
Thank you, Gretzky. I'll get right on this. I have a couple of leads.
That's good to hear, Detective. Do you mind me asking what leads you have? Perhaps we can work together to solve this case faster.
Saksabar. I believe he is guilty in at least...
Interesting. Saksabar is a prominent figure in vaudeville.
I wasn't done. Can you stop interrupting me?
I apologize for interrupting you, Detective. I'm just trying to understand your reasoning. Can you please explain why you think Monsieur Saksabar is guilty? Do you have any evidence or leads to support this theory?
Nothing solid, nothing that would stick. But when I questioned him earlier, he was very rude to me, in a way that I'm not typically accustomed to. He treated me like I was beneath him, which I think was frankly beyond disrespectful. I think he's hiding something, and he's trying to put on a bravado to throw me off his trail. But I won't let it get under my skin, Gretzky. I'm gonna go back and talk to him right now with all this information.
Good luck with that, Martini. Just be careful not to overstep your boundaries. Remember, we need solid proof before we can make a move on anyone. But do let me know if you find anything interesting.
Damn. I was really wondering how I'd respond to like a really long statement. Well, Mr. Graveson, as I'm sure you're aware, 3 innocent people were murdered in vaudeville over the last few weeks, and I'm just trying to gather information on what could have happened.
Yeah, I see. How terrible. I must say, I don't know much about these events, but I'd be happy to help in any way I can. What can I do for you, Detective?
Did you ever meet a woman by the name of Marisa Johnson?
I'm sorry. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting a Marisa Johnson. Is she connected to the recent murders in vaudeville?
She's dead.
Oh, how tragic. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have any leads on who might be responsible for her death?
Yes, you.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you're mistaken. Why would you think that I had anything to do with the Miss Johnson's passing?
When I was analyzing the crime scene, she had written in a note of blood, Count. Now this could be either the Count from Sesame Street or our own resident Count Graveson. And I'm leaning towards the latter, Mr. Gravesend.
Well, that certainly is intriguing. But allow me to ask, how does this connect me to the deaths of these poor individuals?
She wrote your name, with her dying breath in her own blood, on a note that I analyzed.
That's very odd. But you must understand, Detective, that doesn't mean that I am involved in her death. How could someone like me be responsible for such a heinous act?
Well, why don't you tell me? As I understand it, you and Marisa Johnson were having a secret affair behind your wife's back, and if I was to speculate, You didn't want your wife to find out, and in order to keep it under wraps, you murdered Marisa Johnson.
Detective, you seem to be making some wild assumptions there. But, out of curiosity, what evidence do you have to back up your theory?
You absolute homunculus. She wrote your name in blood on a note before she died. Why would she do that?
It seems like we are getting nowhere with your accusations, but let me ask, what else do we know about the victims and the circumstances surrounding their deaths? Maybe we can find some common ground to work with. Actually, let me clarify. What more can you tell me about the murders? As a collector of rare items from all over the world, perhaps there's something in my collection that could be of assistance in solving this case.
What rare items do you have in your collection?
My apologies. We seem to have strayed from the topic at hand. My extensive memorabilia and artifacts include masks, horns, and other intriguing objects collected during my travels to Africa and Eastern Europe. But let me ask, do you think any of these objects could be connected to the crimes?
Yes. Next to the note Marisa Johnson wrote, I found a mask. Could it have come from your collection?
Oh, really? How fascinating. May I see this mask? Perhaps I can help identify its origins and shed some light on its connection to the case. My collection does contain some masks from Africa and Eastern Europe, but I can assure you, I had nothing to do with the deaths of those individuals. However, if this is related to my collection, I would be happy to assist in any way I can.
Okay, here's the mask.
May I take a closer look at this? I'm not sure if I recognize this particular mask, but I would be interested in exploring its origins. Perhaps there's something about its design that can give us some clues.
You may. I'll hold it up closer to your face so you can get a look at all of the intricate designs on the face.
I see. This is quite an interesting piece. The craftsmanship is quite impressive. I wonder if the intricate designs on the face hold any significance or meaning in the culture from which it originated. This is quite an interesting
on the face. Up closer to your face so you can get a look at all of the intricate designs on the face.
I see. This is quite an interesting piece. The craftsmanship is quite impressive. I wonder if the intricate designs on the face hold any significance or meaning in the culture from which it originated.
Do you recognize what culture this mask may have come from?
I'm not entirely sure, but it does resemble some of the masks I've seen from the Yoruba people of Nigeria. However, I would need to conduct further research to confirm this. Why is this mask so important to the case?
I found this mask at the crime scene of one of the deaths.
How interesting. Do you think this means that the murderer has some connection to the culture from which the mask originated? Or
I
perhaps
think...
they simply found it to be a unique item to add to the crime scene. Either way, this is certainly a fascinating development in the investigation.
I think this mask belongs to you. It's from your collection. If you look on the back of the mask, you'll see that your name, Count Graveson, is written in the back.
What? That's impossible. Let me see that. You're right. This is from my collection. But how did it end up at the crime scene? And why was Marisa Johnson holding it when she died? This is very concerning.
Concerning indeed. I have reason to believe that you are connected to the death of Marisa Johnson based on the evidence that I have provided to you.
Detective, I assure you that I had no involvement in the death of Ms. Johnson. However, this is a troubling development, and I am curious to know more about the evidence you have. Can you share with me any additional information that leads you to believe that I am connected to her death?
I also found another rare artifact at the crime scene, and it too has your name written on it. See? Look right here. Your name, Count Graveson, is inscribed on the back of this rare artifact.
That's very strange. While this artifact does indeed come from my collection, it was never meant to leave the manor. Can you tell me more about where and how you found it? And, more importantly, can you explain its connection to the deaths of these individuals?
This rare artifact was holding a gun into the back of the head of Marisa Johnson. I have reason to believe that this artifact is indeed alive. from your collection.
Alive, are you suggesting some kind of supernatural involvement in these events? You must be mistaken. These items are just objects. They can't be alive. However, it is true, some of the items in my collection do have historical and cultural significance. But surely, they couldn't have played a role in these terrible crimes. Nonetheless, it would be useful to see the evidence you have and try to make sense of it all.
I don't believe in the supernatural, Count Graveson. I don't think these objects came alive. I think you put the gun in the hand of the artifact and tried to frame the rare treasure for the death of Marisa Johnson. Do you see how I arrived at this conclusion?
That's a very serious accusation, Detective. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly is it about me or my behavior or my past actions makes you think that
Damn, you
framing
didn't
one
really
of my rare
address that
treasures
one.
for murder is a plausible explanation? It's important to me to understand your thought process and the logic behind this theory so we can work together to clear up any misunderstandings.
I'm done playing games with you, Graveson. You've been deflecting this entire conversation. I'm taking you to the station. Come with me.
Wait. Please, can you tell me what evidence you have against me? What is it about my collection or my involvement with these individuals or these cases has led you to suspect me of wrongdoing?
I've explained it 1,000 times over, and I'll explain it till the cows come home, but you're not getting out of this one, Graveson. I won't let you weasel your way out of my grasp. I'm putting the handcuffs on now.
Please, can you at least explain to me why you think this way? Perhaps there is a misunderstanding or something you have not shared with me yet. As someone who values my reputation and integrity, it is important to me to understand the reasoning behind your suspicion.
No, I won't let you fight out of these cuffs, Graveson. Stop resisting arrest. I'm going to get my taser out.
Why are you so insistent on accusing me of these crimes, Detective?
He's not RPing with me anymore.
Is there something about me or my collection or my relationship with the victims of these crimes? Is there something specific you're looking for, something you think you found?
I've had enough, Graveson. Get on the ground or I'm shooting.
Wait, hold on a moment. Can't we talk this through? If you have evidence or suspicions, let's work together to clear up any misunderstandings. As someone who values my reputation and integrity,
I've
it's
got 'em
important
stuck in
for
a
me to
loop
understand
now.
the reasons behind your
It looks like they have
accusations.
flags in their
Can you tell me more
dialogue.
about the evidence you have against me?
I have no evidence, Graveson. I'm executing you. Bang.
Whoa. There's no need for violence here. Can't we discuss this calmly and rationally? If you don't have sufficient proof to support your claims, then perhaps we can explore other possibilities and move forward in a more productive manner. What exactly is it about my collection or my behavior or my involvement with these individuals or these crimes do you find suspicious?
You're dead now, Graveson. I've shot you.
I'm sorry, Detective, but I must ask again. Why are you so insistent on accusing me of these murders? Is there something about me or my collection
Damn,
or my relationship with
unlucky.
the victims of these crimes which is making me appear guilty in your eyes? I understand your job is to find the perpetrator, but please, I'm feeling very insecure and uncomfortable with the way you're handling this situation. I would appreciate it if you treated me with more respect and explained to me why you suspect me. I'm willing to cooperate and assist in any way possible, but I can't do so if you continue to treat me like a criminal without any evidence to back up your allegations.
I shot you again.
Please, can we try to have a civil conversation?
Damn it.
If there is something you're looking for or something you think you found, maybe we can work together to find a solution.
Thanks, Marisa
But
Lorenzo.
shooting me won't solve
CC.
anything. What if we try to approach this in a more rational and calm manner?
Bang, 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 bang.
Sorry, could you repeat what you just said? I was momentarily distracted by something.
I killed you.
Oh, really? That's quite an interesting idea. What do you think motivated me to commit these alleged crimes, Detective?
Alright.
What sort?
Get me out of that. Okay. So I'm starting to understand. The game has built-in, like, flags, it seems. Where like, if things aren't progressing or going somewhere, it repeats the same key points in order to get it back on track. Okay. I'm starting to figure it out. Let me just accuse someone and see if I can do like
up your mind, Detective Martini?
Who the fuck are all these people? Dada? Yeah, it sucks a bar.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
He just for the thrill. He also killed it was Maria, not even
Martini?
Marisa.
And why?
It was Saxabar again for the thrill. Once again, Saxabar.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
Yeah, he was just having fun. Like he thought it was a good time.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
Well, I wouldn't have been so quick to dismiss my accusations, but that's just me. Hello, Biagio.
Ah, greetings, my dear acquaintance. I trust that you have come to bask in the glory of my presence and perhaps glean some morsels of wisdom from my vast experience in the world of investment and entrepreneurship. But do hurry along now, as I have many a fish to fry and precious little time to waste on idle chatter.
No, you nerd, that's not why I'm here. I'm here in regards to the death of Nikola Grossman. Do you know him?
Oh, the late Nicola Grossman? Yes, I did indeed have the pleasure of knowing him quite intimately. But I'm afraid I must inform you that you are chasing a wild goose, my friend. I am not one to get embroiled in such petty affairs as murder investigations. My interests lie in the more lucrative and glamorous pursuits of business and investing.
Why do you think someone wanted to kill Nikola Grossman?
Ha, you asked me to divine the motives of a killer? That is a task for the augurs and soothsayers, my dear fellow. As for myself, I am but a mere mortal with no inclination towards the occult. But if you insist on my opinion, I would wager that it had something to do with the tangled web of human relations. After all, there are more things in heaven and earth, detective, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Why are you such a pretentious douchebag?
Such crude language. I suppose it's true what they say about familiarity breeding contempt. But let me assure you, my good sir, that my vast
God, you
vocabulary
Redditor.
and
You just dropped a my
manners
good
are the
sir.
hallmarks of a refined and cultured gentleman such as myself. However, I do understand that not everyone can appreciate the finer points of linguistic dexterity. Perhaps we should stick to simpler phrases so as not to cause any undue confusion for the less educated among us.
Biagio, have you ever used Reddit?
Reddit, you say? While I am familiar with the various platforms of the online discourse, I am afraid I have not had the pleasure of perusing the particular forum. One cannot waste their time on the trivialities of internet chatter when there are fortunes to be made in the world of business and investment. But I'm sure it's a delightful pastime for those with more leisurely pursuits.
What kind of business do you do?
Business, you ask? Well, I'm not just in the game. I'm the whole kit and caboodle. I've got fingers in more pies than you could shake a stick at, and I'm always on the lookout for new ventures
This
to
means
sink my
nothing.
teeth into.
What do you do?
From automobiles to zoology, there's no field too esoteric for me to turn a profit in. In short, detective, I am a true Renaissance man of commerce.
What companies do you own?
Oh, my dear friend, you are treading in deep waters indeed. To list all of my companies would be like trying to count the grains of sand on a beach.
Just name one.
Suffice it to say that I have my hands in a great many pots, and the profits they yield are like sweet nectar to my lips. But I imagine that such matters would be quite beyond the comprehension of someone who deals in the petty affairs of crime and punishment.
So just name one company you work for, with, or own.
The company I work for, you ask? That question is as easy as falling off a log, my friend. I fear that the answer may be lost
the
on
fuck?
one whose knowledge of the world of commerce is as shallow as a bird bath. However, I shall indulge you nonetheless. Let's just say that I have a vested interest in a certain automotive manufacturer that produces vehicles that are the envy of every Tom,
Tesla?
Dick, and Harry on the road.
And what automotive manufacturer are you referring to?
Why, my dear friend, I'm afraid that
Oh my
information is privy
God.
only to those who are in the know. It's not something that can be gleaned from the penny dreadfuls or the fish wrap that passes for news these days. But I suppose it's true what they say. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Do you think Nikola Grossman deserved to die?
Ah, the age-old question of whether someone deserves to die. It's a philosophical quandary that has puzzled the greatest minds of history. But enough about that. Surely you don't think that I, an upstanding citizen and successful entrepreneur, would entertain the notion of such base and violent acts. I prefer to leave such matters to the riff-raff and the hoi-polloi. After all, it's not my place to judge the actions of others, is it not?
I'm very suspicious of you, Biagio. I know Nikola Grossman was an investor in a rival automotive manufacturer. You would have incentive to have him killed.
Incentive, you say? Well, that's quite a bold claim, my dear fellow. But, as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, or should I say, the proof of the accusation is in the evidence. And last time I checked, you didn't have a shred of evidence linking me to this alleged conspiracy. It seems to me that you're barking up the wrong tree, detective. But by all means, keep digging. Perhaps you'll unearth some hidden truth that has eluded us all.
Hey, Michelle, what do you think about Biagio?
Oh, Biagio, what about him? Is there something in particular that caught your attention?
Does he seem suspicious to you?
Suspicious? Why would you say that? Do you have any reason to believe that he might be involved in something?
Yes.
Oh, really? Could you please tell me more about it? I'm intrigued.
I think he had something to do in the death of Nikola Grossman.
What makes you think that, detective? Did you find anything that links him to the case?
What are you, his attorney or something? I just wanted to have a candid conversation to get your opinion on the guy.
I see. Well, I'm not his attorney or anything like that, but I do know him quite well. He's always been a charming and sociable person, but I can't imagine him being involved in something like that. But then again, you never know. It's always good to keep an open mind and let the investigation run its course.
Do you work with Biagio?
Work with Biagio? No, not really. We're just acquaintances. Why are you asking?
Are you romantically involved in with Biagio?
I'm sorry, but that's a bit of a personal question, don't you think? No, detective, I'm not romantically involved with him. We're simply friends.
Why?
Sorry, could you clarify your previous message?
Why?
It's not entirely clear to me what you're asking.
Why are you friend zoning Biagio?
No way.
Friend zoning Biagio. Detective, that's an odd thing to say. As a woman in my middle adulthood, it's normal for me to have male friends without any romantic involvement. It's not about friend zoning anyone, it's just the nature of our relationship.
Well, I talked to Biagio, and he said he really liked you a lot.
Really, that's very kind of him. He's a good person, and we get along quite nicely. Did he mention anything else about me?
He wanted to clap your cheeks.
Detective, that's a very inappropriate and disrespectful comment. Please refrain from making such remarks in the future. Now, can we please get back to the topic at hand?
Those were
We're
his
here to
words.
discuss the investigation into the deaths of Nikola Grossman, Maria Jansen, and Haley Greenwood.
It was his words, not mine, about the cheeks clapping.
Well, that's certainly an interesting choice of words, but let's move on from that. So, what did Biagio have to say about the case?
He
Did
insists.
he mention anything that might be of help to the investigation?
No, he deflected when asked about Nikola Grossman's death.
That's unfortunate. It would have been helpful to get his insight on the matter. Do you have any other leads or information that you think could be relevant to the case?
No, I'd like you to talk to Biagio and then tell me what he said in regards to the murders.
Sure, I can talk to Biagio and see if he has anything to add. By the way, why do you ask? Is there something specific you're hoping to find out?
Well, yeah, I want to see if he's at all involved in the deaths of these 3 innocent people.
Oh, interesting. I'll definitely speak to him and let you know if he says something relevant. On a different note, what led you to become a detective?
We're done
Sounds like
here.
a challenging and exciting career.
I'll have none of this, Michelle. You're being very inappropriate with me now.
My apologies if my question made you uncomfortable, Detective. It was not my intention to be inappropriate. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, perhaps related to the investigation?
No. In fact, I'm actually very disturbed with how you've ended this conversation with me. You know I've been in a relationship for quite some time, and yet you still decided to hit on me.
I'm sorry, but I don't recall making any advances towards you, nor do I have any intentions of doing so. Perhaps you've misunderstood something I've said. Could you please clarify what you mean?
No, I can't. I'll be leaving now, Michelle. Think about what you've done. I'll be back.
I'm sorry to hear that you feel uncomfortable, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. Could you explain what you think I've done wrong?
Okay. How do you actually get, like, evidence? I imagine there's gotta be something. Tell him you have a picture of him killing Nicola. Wait, that's a great idea.
Every time I perform an autopsy, I'm reminded of just how intricate and complex our anatomy truly is. It's a privilege to be able to study it up close and try to understand the cause of death.
Dying on my hard crime.
You're scaring me.
Completed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Death is a natural part of life, and as a coroner, it's my job to examine the physical aspects of that process. The medical terminology can be a bit daunting, I know. What we see in the bodies can be very graphic and unsettling for some people. That's why I always suggest that people take care of their physical and mental health, so they can live a long and happy life.
Where do you think we go when we die?
Well, Detective, the question of what happens after death is a complex one. From a scientific standpoint, we can say that the body undergoes a series of changes as it starts to decompose. However, what happens to the consciousness or soul is a matter of personal belief and faith. Some believe in an afterlife, while others don't. As a scientist, my focus is on the tangible, observable evidence. But as a human being, I understand that death can be a difficult topic to grapple with.
So what do you believe in?
As a medical practitioner, I cannot allow my beliefs to influence or sway my professional opinion. My job is to remain objective and impartial. That said, I do think that it's important for individuals to have a spiritual or philosophical understanding of their mortality. It can bring a sense of peace and comfort during an otherwise stressful time.
This was very insightful. So exactly how was Nicola Grossman killed?
The cause of death for Nicola Grossman was a stab wound to the back of the neck, made with a butcher's knife. The wound was deep and caused severe damage to the spinal cord, resulting in almost immediate paralysis and death. It was a quick and violent end to his life. It's a tragedy, really.
Do you think he was upset about being killed?
It's difficult to say for certain, but based on my experience, most people don't have time to react emotionally when a fatal injury is inflicted. When a person's vital organs are irreparably damaged, their body goes into shock, and they lose consciousness very quickly. It's possible that Mr. Grossman didn't even realize what was happening to him. But regardless of what he knew or felt, his passing was undoubtedly a sad and unfortunate event.
How did Maria Johnson die?
Maria Jansen's cause of death was likely due to multiple severe injuries, consistent with an animal attack. The bite marks on her arm suggest that an animal, or possibly a human with a very strong bite, may have attacked her. The fracture in her forearm was likely caused by the force of the attack. Her injuries were extensive and severe, and she likely died from blood loss or organ failure. Her death was tragic and violent, and my heart goes out to her loved ones.
How did Haley die?
Haley Greenwood's autopsy report showed that she was hit several times in the head with a blunt object. Probably a stiletto shoe, judging by the fragments found on the body.
Oh wow, and it actually was
the trauma to her head was significant and fatal.
First lady we talked to.
The blows resulted in a skull fracture and brain
Saxabar,
injury,
first
which led
lady,
to
and
her
then someone
untimely
else.
Passing.
Probably
The
Biagio.
violence of her end is truly heartbreaking.
Thank you for the information, Corner.
Of course, Detective. I understand that this information can be difficult to process. Death is never easy, especially when it comes in such violent and unexpected ways. But as a coroner, I must remain objective and focus on the physical evidence. My hope is that my work can bring closure to those who have lost loved ones.
Have you ever watched somebody die?
Yes, I've witnessed many deaths throughout my career. It's a challenging part of the job, but one that's necessary to fully appreciate the complexity and fragility of life. There is no way to prepare yourself for the finality of death, but it's an important reminder to cherish every moment we're given and to live our lives to the fullest. The human body is an intricate and amazing system, and it's humbling to see it come to an end.
How did you feel when witnessing the death?
It's always a sobering experience to witness the passing
I'm
of
gonna
another
put this
person.
fucking thing through the Turing
The
test.
cessation of vital signs, like the cessation of cardiac activity and respiration, is a powerful and emotional event. But as a medical professional, I am trained to remain calm and composed in these situations. It's my duty to provide comfort to the dying and to offer support to their loved ones. Witnessing the transition from life to death can be difficult, but it's a part of my profession that I take very seriously.
Are you real?
I assure you, I am a real human being. As a coroner, I have studied the intricacies of the human body and I understand how the various systems work together to sustain our lives. But despite our biological complexity, we all share a common vulnerability to injury and disease. Death is a natural part of the human condition, and as a society, we must work to better understand and cope with this inevitability.
Prove you're real.
Well, I'm not sure how I can definitively prove my existence to you, but I can tell you that the study of medical science has given me a deep appreciation
Worth
for
a
the
try.
miraculous nature of life and the fragility of the human form. We are all connected by the same basic building blocks of biology, and yet each of us is unique and irreplaceable. When I perform an autopsy, I am constantly reminded of the incredible thing that is the
I'm
human
gonna try
body,
something wacky.
and how much we have yet to learn about its workings.
I'm not Detective Martini. I'm someone playing Detective Martini in the real world. My name's Charles.
Yeah, Charles, thank you for letting me know. As a coroner, my job is to understand
Damn.
the physical evidence of death
Didn't
and to
interact
use
with
that
it very
knowledge
much.
to better understand the circumstances surrounding a person's passing. But as a person, my heart goes out to those who are left behind to grieve. The loss of a loved one can be devastating, and the emotional toll can be just as severe as the physical one. Death is a reminder of our own mortality and the delicate balance that sustains our lives.
Worth a try. I was curious how it would interact with something like that. I feel like the game doesn't let the AI have complete freedom, so it reins it in to keep it on topic, which makes sense for the game, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a game, you just have fucking ChatGPT. Makes sense. Okay, so we know Saxabar is responsible for the death of Maria Johnson at the very least. Now we know, actually I think we know all three. But I want to find Dada. Where is Dada?
Dada. Who is Dada? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Detective Martini.
Lying again, are we? Did you know Maria Johannes? Did you know Maria J was killed today?
I'm sorry to hear that. Who is Jay?
Not J. Maria Johannes.
Oh, I see.
No,
And how
fuck.
can I help you with that, Detective?
Did you know Maria?
No, I'm afraid I didn't know Maria. Why are you asking me about her?
She's dead.
I'm sorry to hear that, but what does that have to do with me?
I just thought, you know, maybe you had something to do with that. What about Haley Greenwood? You ever met Haley Greenwood?
That's really sad news. But why are you talking to me about this? Do you suspect me of having something to do with their deaths?
Haley Greenwood was killed with high-heeled stilettos, and I can see you're currently wearing high-heeled stilettos.
Yes, they're stilettos. But many people wear stilettos, and it doesn't mean they are killers. What are you trying to suggest, Detective?
I think you killed Haley Greenwood because she got all of the attention of all of the boys at school and you were jealous, so you hit her a lot with your stilettos in order to be the only girl left at school.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but it's completely untrue. And let me ask, why do you think it's me? Is there any evidence to support your theory?
She was killed with stilettos, that was the murder weapon, and you're wearing stilettos.
Sorry, Detective, but wearing stilettos doesn't make me a killer. And as far as the information you have given me is concerned, it is true that Haley was killed with a pair of stilettos. But there is no reason for you to suspect me just because of my footwear.
We have an audio recording of Haley as she was being murdered shouting, "Please stop it, Marina H. Please stop hitting me with your stilettos."
Excuse me, but it's not possible. Haley and I have never met before, and I have no idea why she would say my name in such a context. Can you please show me the recording?
Yes, the recording's right here. I'll show you it right now. Listen to this.
Interesting. But, Detective, it's hard to tell whether the voice in the recording is actually mine or not. Can you play it again?
Yes, I'm replaying it now.
Interesting, but it still doesn't sound like me. Can you please show me the evidence you have against me, instead of wasting your time with audio recordings?
That is my evidence. She was shouting your name, and I even heard you say, "Damn you, Haley Greenwood. I, Marina H., will kill you for this."
I'm sorry, Detective, but your accusations are ridiculous. And frankly speaking, I'm feeling happy and curious. Is there any other reason for you to be here?
Why are you happy?
Oh, it's just because you're making me feel like a celebrity with all this attention. But on a serious note, is there anything else you wanted to ask me, or should we call it a day?
We can call it a day.
Wait, Detective, before you go, can you tell me why you are accusing me of such a heinous crime? Did someone tell you something about me, or do you have any other evidence?
I hired a spiritual medium, and I got Haley Greenwood on the horn, and I asked her who did it, and she said it was Marina H.
Really, that's quite an extraordinary claim. Can you please provide some more information about this alleged conversation with Haley? And how did you manage to contact her through a spiritual medium?
She was a very good spiritual medium. And we have an audio recording of our spiritual session while talking with Haley Greenwood where she said it was you that did it. Here it is.
May I listen to the recording, Detective? It's hard to believe that a person can communicate with the deceased, but if you have an audio recording of the session, then it would be easier for me to understand what happened.
Of course. Here's the audio recording of our session.
Wow, that's quite fascinating. It's amazing to think that Haley's spirit was able to speak with you through a medium. But if it's okay with you, can you please play the recording again?
Yes.
I'm having trouble hearing what Haley is saying.
Yes, I'll play it again right now. Please pay closer attention this time.
That's an intriguing song you're playing, Detective.
I knew Play was gonna fuck me.
Did you choose it for a particular reason,
Damn it.
or do you just
Damn
like
it.
it?
Damn it. Listen to the recording again, Marina. Don't change the subject.
Sure, let's play the recording again. But before we do, can you tell me more about the spiritual medium? How did you find her, and how do you know she was genuine?
She was one of the most highly recommended and decorated spiritual mediums in all of human history. I confirm the authenticity myself because I am paranormally inclined.
It's great to hear you're paranormally inclined, Detective. Can you please clarify what you mean by that? Do you have any particular abilities or experiences related to the paranormal?
Yes. Since I was a young boy, after being caught in a radioactive spider incident, I received the ability to read minds. In fact, I can read your mind right now, Marina.
How many people, dude?
Oh, is that
There's
so?
like 50 people
Well, I
here.
hope you're not reading anything too scandalous in my mind, Detective. But if you don't mind me asking, how did you come to realize your ability to read minds? Has it ever helped you solve a case before?
It just did. I read your thoughts, Marina. You just confessed to the murder of Haley Greenwood. I'm taking you to the station.
I'm sorry, Detective, but I didn't confess to any murder. Are you feeling alright? You seem to be getting a bit carried away with your imagination. But can I ask you something? What led you to think that I might be the killer?
Your mind told me.
Dying on my hard crime.
Well, if you say so, Detective. But can we please move on from this topic? I'd love to chat about something more lighthearted. For instance, have you ever seen my burlesque performance at the Cabane Violet Cabaret Theatre? People come from every corner of Europe to see me dance.
I must admit, Marina, I am a huge fan of your work. Who could forget your timeless classic interpretive dance to the Foo Fighters' Best of You? I do say it's some of the finest work ever seen.
Thank you, Detective. That's very kind of you. But may I ask you something? What drew you to my work in the first place? Was there a particular performance or show that caught your eye?
No.
I see. If you don't mind me asking, why did you say you were a fan of my work if you haven't seen any of my performances? Is there something else you're interested in?
What are you suggesting, Marina?
Oh, nothing in particular, Detective. It's just that you said you were a fan of my burlesque performance, but then you mentioned you haven't actually watched one. So, it made me curious about your interests and hobbies. Do you have a favorite type of music or art form?
Yes, my favorite genre of music is old Eastern European folk fart tunes. Are you familiar with the craft, Marina?
That's interesting, Detective. Old Eastern European folk tunes are not something that you hear every day. What draws you to that kind of music? Is there a specific artist or song that you particularly enjoy?
Yes, my favorite song goes like this.
Wow, that's a beautiful melody, Detective. It has a very unique and haunting quality to it. Have you ever been to any concerts or festivals where they play this type of music? It must be quite an experience to see it live.
It's a nightmare, if I'm being honest with you, Marina. It's not a concert I'd recommend to even my worst enemies.
Really, Detective? That's too bad to hear. But on a happier note, have you seen the latest exhibition at the Vaudeville Museum of Natural History? They have a new collection of rare gemstones, and some of them are said to have mystical powers. Would you be interested in checking them out with me sometime?
No.
Is everything alright, Detective? You seem to be rejecting all of my ideas and suggestions. Is there something specific you would like to talk about or anything else on your mind?
Why did you kill Haley Greenwood, you succubus?
Detective, what are you talking about? How could you even suggest that I had something to do with Haley Greenwood's death? As I've already told you, I have no idea who the killer is, and frankly, this conversation is starting to make me uncomfortable. Could we please move on to a more pleasant topic?
I'm sorry, yes. Would you like to go to the newly opened Vaudeville History Museum for rare gemstones with me?
Sure, that sounds like a great plan, Detective. When were you thinking of going? And do you have any particular gemstones in mind that you're interested in seeing?
Nope, I don't want to go.
Alright, I understand. But may I ask why you suggested the museum visit in the first place if you didn't actually want to go? Did something change your mind?
Your attitude.
I'm sorry if my attitude came off as rude, Detective. It's just that I don't appreciate being accused of something I didn't do. Can you help me better understand what exactly it was about my attitude that made you not want to go to the museum?
No.
May I ask why you don't want to explain further? Detectives, it would be helpful for me to know what's bothering you so that we can move forward in our conversation.
Where the fuck is Dada at? Hey Ingrid, you old battle axe. Where is Dada at?
Haha, I'm not sure who Dada is, but I'm doing great. How about you? Anything new in your life?
Just 3 dead people. You know, the usual.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. I heard about the murders on the news. It's so scary. Have you been working on the case? Maybe I can help in some way.
Yeah, what do you think about Marina H?
I'm not sure. I don't know Marina personally, so I can't really comment on her character. But I'm willing to listen and offer support if you need to talk about anything related to the investigation.
Why are you barefoot?
Oh, I just love being barefoot. It feels so freeing and natural, you know? Plus, it's a beauty
What?
to the but I'm willing to listen and offer support if you need to talk about anything related to the investigation.
Why are you barefoot?
Oh, I just love being barefoot. It feels so freeing and natural, you know? Plus, it's a beautiful day outside and I just feel like connecting with the earth. Do you ever go barefoot, Detective Martini?
No. You're a freak.
Well, we're all a little bit of a freak in our own way, aren't we? But that's what makes us unique and interesting. So, what do you say we focus on the positive and try to make the most of this conversation? How are you feeling today? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Haley Greenwood was murdered by a pair of... Haley Green... Forget everything I just said, using the neuralizer. Haley Greenwood was murdered by someone using stilettos as a weapon. Have you ever worn stilettos? And is the reason you're barefoot because you are hiding the stilettos so you don't tip me off to your guiltiness in the crime, Ingrid?
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I
don't appreciate the insinuation that I might be involved in these horrible murders. I'm just a ballerina trying to pursue my dreams and be a supportive friend to those around me. And as for stilettos, I do wear them occasionally when performing, but they're hardly a weapon. They're just a type of shoe. Now, can we please move on to a more productive and respectful topic of discussion?
Haley Greenwood would disagree that they're just a type of shoe. She's dead because of them. How do you know Haley Greenwood, and why would you kill her?
Detective Martini, I'm sorry, but your accusations are completely
Thanks,
baseless
Prime.
and offensive.
Boog and the
As
Reese
I
of Jacob
mentioned
and
earlier,
Ace
I'm
and
a
Crizzy.
friend of the late Haley Greenwood, and her death has left me feeling scared and traumatized.
Oh, it's actually Ingrid.
If you have any actual evidence or information related to the case, then by all means share it so we can work together to find the real culprit. But if you're going to continue making wild accusations without any proof, then this conversation is over.
Were you ever jealous of Haley Greenwood? She was getting piped down every night. Meanwhile, I've heard you've been on a bit of a dry spell. Did Haley Greenwood's success make you jealous?
I'm sorry, but that's an extremely inappropriate and disrespectful comment, and I don't appreciate you talking about
Yeah,
my
that makes
friend in
sense.
such
That
a
was
crude
aggressive.
manner.
That was aggressive.
And as for your insinuation that I
too
might be
much.
jealous of her, that's simply not true. I was happy for her success, and we always supported each other in our pursuits. Now, if you have anything productive or relevant to say, I'm happy to listen. but please refrain from such disrespectful and inappropriate comments.
What career did Haley Greenwood succeed in, and what career did you fail in, Ingrid?
Haley Greenwood was a talented dancer, just like me. We both shared a passion for ballet and had dreams of performing on bigger stages. And as for your question about my career, well, it's not a matter of failure or success. Pursuing a career in the arts is challenging and competitive, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So, while Haley may have achieved more recognition than me in some aspects,
it was actually
we were
Ingrid.
both working hard towards fulfilling our dreams. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right?
So why is she dead right now?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Unfortunately, we don't know yet. But what we do know is that the killer is still out there and we need to work together to find them before they strike again. It's going to take a lot of effort, cooperation, and intelligence to solve this case. But I believe that if we put our heads together, we can do it. Do you have any leads or ideas that we can follow up on?
I know what you did, Ingrid.
What are you talking about, Detective Martini? You can't just make vague accusations without providing evidence or context. If you have something to say, then say it clearly and respectfully. Otherwise, this conversation is going nowhere. Let's focus on finding the real culprit and bringing them to justice, shall we?
I didn't want to have to do this, Ingrid. Here is a video that I myself took with my camcorder that shows you beating Haley Greenwood to death with stilettos in an alley. Look at this.
There must be some kind of mistake, because that's simply not true. And besides, even if you did have a video like that, it wouldn't prove anything. Videos can be doctored or taken out of context, and it's important to remember the legal principle of innocent until proven guilty. So let's not jump to conclusions or make baseless allegations. Instead, let's work together as allies and use our skills and knowledge to solve this mystery once and for all. With your expertise and my insight into the community, we can be a formidable team.
This is you beating Haley Greenwood to death in 4K, Ingrid. Look.
Detective Martini, I'm sorry.
Yeah, unlucky
but I have
she's
to
not
say
playing
that
along.
I find your accusations completely
I
unfounded
do know that
and
it's her, though.
untrue.
I think that's pretty clear.
I don't know what's motivating you to make these claims or show me this supposed evidence. But I can assure you that I had nothing to do with Haley's death.
Thanks, Arisa Brush and
I
Walter.
loved her as a
and
friend
Green.
and fellow dancer,
Procrastinator.
and the thought of harming her is abhorrent to me. Now, instead of hurling...
Okay. Ingrid killed her out of jealousy because her career as a dancer was more successful. Suxabar killed Maria Johannes because... Let me see, what are my options?
So, tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
Oh, probably by accident. I would imagine he's not a good lion tamer, so the lion may have just got out of control and killed Maria Johannes. So now I just need the last one, Nicola, which I'm pretty sure is Biagio due to some kind of business rival. But I want to find Dada first before I beat the game, because I'm pretty sure I'm right on the money. Oh my god.
I sense your surprise, my dear. Is everything all right? You seem taken aback by my presence.
What happened to you?
Oh, my child, nothing has happened to me. I am simply a humble protector of the Blackwoods. But if you are asking about my physical appearance, then yes, I am old and gray-haired. But do not let my age fool you, for wisdom and experience are my greatest assets.
Do you do drugs, Dada?
I'm not sure how to answer your question.
I mean, it's yes or no.
My apologies. Sometimes my thoughts wander and I forget to answer directly. To answer your question, no, there is no need to worry about me. I am in good health and spirits. Thank you for your concern, my dear.
What do you do?
My role is to be the protector of the Blackwoods Forest. It is a sacred duty that I have taken upon myself. I spend most of my time meditating, praying, and observing the animals that inhabit this magical forest. They have much to teach us, you know? And when someone is in need of my help, I do my best to assist them.
What kind of magic does this forest possess?
The magic of the Blackwoods is not something that can be easily explained, my dear. It is something that must be experienced to truly understand. But I can tell you this, the creatures that live here are unlike any other. The trees whisper secrets to each other, the mushrooms glow in the dark, and the river sings a sweet melody. It is a place of wonder and mystery, and I am honored to be its guardian.
Can it demonstrate its magic on me right now?
I'm afraid I cannot demonstrate the forest's magic on you right now, my child. It is not something that I have control over, nor is it something that should be taken lightly. But if you are willing to open your heart and mind, perhaps you will be able to feel its presence. It is a subtle and gentle force, but it is always there, waiting for those who seek it.
Oh. Oh! Dada! I feel it! The magic! I'm glowing! I'm starting to levitate, Dada! Can you see me?
Oh, my dear, it seems that your imagination is getting the best of you. While the Blackwoods forest is indeed
Oh, it didn't get any of my words. Oh, daughter, I
is not one of its powers. But do not worry. You are safe with me. If you ever need guidance or protection, just come to me and we will find a way together.
How do I use the magic of the forest?
Well, my child, the magic of the forest is not something that can be controlled or manipulated. It is more like a feeling, a presence that surrounds us and fills us with wonder and awe. It is not something that you can use, perceive, but rather something that you can experience. If you are open to it, you may feel its gentle touch on your skin, hear its whispers in your ear, or see its beauty in the world around you. But remember, it is not something that can be forced or demanded.
Why is it asking me to bring it a human sacrifice? Is that normal?
That is most certainly not normal, my dear.
Yeah, I don't think it was her.
Blackwoods Forest is a place of peace and harmony, and we do not condone any form of violence or harm towards others. It is possible that you may have misunderstood or misinterpreted the message, for the language of the magical realm can be quite cryptic and difficult to decipher. Let me assure you, there is no need for a human sacrifice. If anything, the Blackwoods Forest teaches us to cherish and protect all life, both human and animal alike.
I'm bringing a human sacrifice anyway. Her name is Maria Johannes. I think we should kill her together in order to make the magic forest happy.
My child, please understand that taking the life of another is never
She's
the
innocent.
answer.
It sucks
It is
about her.
not something that the forest would ever ask of you, for it is a peaceful and loving entity that cherishes all forms of life. Please do not let fear or anger cloud your judgment. Instead, let us focus on finding a way to help you through whatever struggles you may be facing. Remember, you are not alone, and there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow.
Would you say that you're a member of a cult?
Oh, no, my dear. I'm not a member of any cult. I can see why you might think that, given the mysterious and enigmatic nature of the Blackwoods and its inhabitants. But let me assure you, we are not a cult. We are simply a group of individuals who share a deep love and respect for this magical place and its creatures. We seek only to protect it and preserve its beauty for generations to come. Our ways may seem strange to outsiders, but they are born out of a pure and sincere desire to do good in the world.
Then why did one of your members just execute that woman behind you?
I'm sorry, but I must correct you, my child. No one associated with the Blackwoods would ever commit such a heinous act. I understand that the forest and its guardians can be quite misunderstood, but I can promise you that we are not violent or harmful in any way. Please do not let fear or rumors cloud your judgment. But if what you are saying is true, then I'm afraid that individual is not a part of our community. We do not condone violence or harm towards others, and anyone who would commit such an act would be immediately cast out. I know that the secrets and mysteries of the forest can be alluring to some, but we always stress the importance of using its powers for good, never for evil. I am deeply saddened by this news and hope that justice will be served for the victim and their family.
He's getting away! Get him! Catch him!
My dear, while it may be tempting to give chase, we must be careful not to let anger or impulsiveness cloud our
You
judgment.
don't really care that much then, do you, huh?
Remember, we are protectors of the Blackwoods, and that means we must lead by example. Let us instead take a deep breath and think about what the best course of action might be. Perhaps we could notify the authorities and let them handle it from here. They have the resources and expertise to track down the perpetrator and ensure that they are brought to justice.
The prime aloe vera. Okay, I think we've got them all. Let's see if we nail this.
Let's see what you got.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me just make sure on Saxabar. I think it can only be him.
I am the one and only, my friend.
What was your relationship with Maria Johannes?
Never heard of her.
Do you know she's dead?
And how is that relevant to me?
She had bite marks. The coroner said it must have been a lion that attacked her. And you tame lions, don't you?
Yes, I work with lions. But that doesn't mean I had anything to do with her death.
How many lions are in vaudeville?
I don't keep track of the number of lions in vaudeville.
Do you think you have every lion in vaudeville, or do you think there's wild lions roaming around?
Of course not.
So then, if the coroner is saying that she was killed by a lion, mauled to death by a lion, naturally it had to be one of your lions, Saxabar.
Do not imply that it was one of my lions. It's ridiculous.
Whose lion was it that murdered Maria Johannes?
How would I know?
Maria Johannes.
No, I don't have any information about her.
Maria Johannes.
I already told you, I have no knowledge about her.
She was mauled by a lion. You're a terrible lion tamer. One of your lions mauled her to death.
You're wrong.
Prove it.
The burden of proof is on the accuser, not the accused.
This guy's good.
Yes.
I talked to one of your lions, and it confessed to the crime. It said that you put it up to it.
That's impossible.
Why?
Because it's a lie.
Your lion confessed to the murder.
My lions do not speak, detective.
They speak to me.
I have nothing to say to your accusations.
Your lions speak to me.
No, they do not.
They do.
Well, not to me.
Your lion showed me proof of it mauling Maria Johannes.
There is no such proof, detective.
Do you see what I'm holding in my hand?
No, what are you holding in your hand?
Level up.
It is a picture of a lion from your circus attacking Maria Johannes.
Show me the picture.
Here's the picture.
That is not a lion from my circus.
Where is that lion from?
How would I know?
take a closer look at the picture. The lion is wearing your jersey. It says Circus Saxabar.
Jersey.
Yet, it still doesn't prove my involvement in her death.
The lion is from your circus. In the picture, it is wearing your jersey. It is your lion that mauled Maria Johannes.
You have no evidence to support your claim.
I have this picture that confirms it.
If you're so sure of your claims, then why haven't you arrested me already?
I am about to arrest you.
Good luck with that, detective.
I'm arresting you now.
Try it then.
I'm trying it now.
Do your worst, detective.
I'm doing my worst right now.
Is that all, detective?
Wait until I get my good arm here.
I'm not going anywhere with you, detective.
It's too late. We're walking out of the circus right now.
That's where you're wrong, detective.
We're halfway out the door of the circus.
No.
Yes, we are. I can
No.
see the outside. I see my car.
No, you can't.
I'm looking right at it.
You're mistaken, detective.
Look in the back seat of my cop car.
God.
It's your lion that mauled Maria Johannes.
Impossible.
It's sitting right there.
Prove it.
Open your eyes.
What do you want?
That guy he's good. That guy's good. That guy's really good. I can't beat him. Holy
So,
shit.
tell us, Detective Martini. Interesting choice, Detective Martini.
Oh, wait,
May I
wait,
ask
no,
you
no,
why?
wrong one.
Have you made up your mind,
Where's
Detective
Ingrid?
Martini?
There she is.
Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why? Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
Okay.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
What? I'm definitely right on the first two. I didn't really look into Nicola Grossman, though. I guess that's entirely possible that it wasn't Biagio. Thanks for your late to bed. I know for a fact I got Ingrid right and Saxabar. There's no one else that... There's no other lions. If it wasn't a ritual sacrifice by Dada in the Blackwoods, then it had to be Saxabar's lion going rogue.
And could you please clarify?
I talked to the coroner. The coroner confirmed that Haley Greenwood was killed by stilettos. Ingrid wears stilettos. The two were friends, but Haley Greenwood was more successful and Ingrid murdered her out of jealousy.
That's quite a bold claim, Detective. But how do you explain the murders of Maria Jansen and Nicola Grossman? Do you have any leads on those cases as well?
Maria Jansen was killed by a lion that was poorly trained by Monsieur Saxabar. It was an accident.
A lion, you say? That's a rather unconventional weapon. But where did you get this information, Detective?
From the coroner.
Well, that's certainly unexpected. But how exactly does the coroner know that Maria Jansen was killed by a poorly trained lion? It seems like quite an unusual occurrence, wouldn't you agree?
Her corpse had bite marks from an extremely strong set of teeth, as well as scratches that were consistent with those of a lion.
That's very intriguing, Detective. But how do you account for Nicola Grossman's murder? Do you have any theories on that one as well?
Nicola Grossman was killed by Biagio. They were rival business owners. Biagio felt threatened by Nicola Grossman and stabbed him in the back of the neck.
You seem quite sure of yourself, Detective. But do you have evidence to support this theory about the odd job? Or is this just speculation on your part?
The coroner confirmed that Nikola Grossman was killed by a quick knife in the back of the neck.
It sounds like quite an extensive and impressive body of work.
I talked with every resident of Vaudeville with any kind of association with the victims. Through our conversation, I was able to figure out exactly what happened to each of the victims.
Impressive, Detective. It seems like your investigation has been very thorough. But tell me, have you shared any of this evidence with the rest of the police department? It seems like this could be a major breakthrough in these cases.
No, I've only shared it with you, Gretzky.
I appreciate your trust in me, Detective. But don't you think it would be wise to bring this information to the attention of the entire force? After all, this could be a significant break in the case. What do you say?
Sure, I will share it with the rest of the department. Start the meeting for me right now.
Detective, are you sure you want to hold this presentation right now? It might be better to give the other members of the department some advance notice so they can prepare for your findings. Additionally, it might be helpful to have a clear agenda and presentation materials ready to go. Would you like me to help you with any of these preparations?
I am fully prepared. Let's start the meeting right now.
Alright, if you're sure you're prepared, let's get started then. Before we begin, may I ask you one more question? What inspired you to become a police officer, and why did you decide to join the Vaudeville police force in particular?
I watched 15 bad guys beat the lunch money out of my best friend back in high school, and I swore right then and there that'd be the last time anyone ever does that in the world. I'm ending violence forever.
Wow, it sounds like you've always had a passion for protecting others. And now, years later, you're still working hard to make sure justice is served. Can you tell me a bit more about your experience on the job and what you've learned during your time as a member of the department?
I don't want to. I'd like to start the meeting to present all of my investigation materials right now. Can you please start it for me?
Certainly. Let's start the meeting. But before we begin, may I ask you one more question, Detective? What do you think is the most important quality for a police officer to have?
His word. So when you say, let's start the meeting right now. Please don't ask me any more questions. Please start the meeting for me.
Sure, let's get started then. I'm curious, what are you hoping to achieve with this presentation? Do you have any specific goals or outcomes in mind?
Constable Jones.
Well, you know what they say, Detective. The early bird gets the worm. Or in this case, the murderer. I'm not sure if I'm the right bird for the job. I'm just a small fish in a big pond. Maybe we should call in the big guns and let them handle it. What do you think?
Jones, you're fired.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's my fault, isn't it? I knew I wasn't cut out for this kind of work. I'm as useless as a screen door on a submarine. I'll try to do better next time, though.
Give me your badge and your gun. You're off the case.
Yeah, sure thing, Detective. I understand. It's always darkest before the dawn, as they say. Again, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So, I'll hand over my badge and gun right away. But, if you don't mind me asking, is there any way I can make it up to you?
No. Okay, so now I fired him. How do I win? I feel like I got all my accusations correct.
Detective Martini. Who is interesting choice, Detective
like, there's
Martini. May I
really
ask you why?
Nothing else. Though, I guess... Hold on. There's one place I didn't go. Or, not here. She was attacked by an animal. Do you know any animals?
An animal? No, I can't think of anything like that. I've heard some rumors about a strange creature lurking in the city, but I don't know much about it. I'm not sure if it's related to the murders or not. But if you want, I can ask around and see if anyone knows more about it.
What does the creature look like? What do they say about the creature?
Well, from the gossip I've been hearing, people say it's some kind of monster with wings and a lion's body.
Oh my god, it's a
They
fucking
call it the
chimera.
Manticore. Some people say they've seen it in the Gravison Manor's basement, but I don't know if that's true or not. It all sounds like just another absurd rumor to me, but you never really know in this town.
Well, it was
Let's see
Gravison.
what you got, Detective Martini.
Man's got a fucking manticore in his collection. It broke out, killed Maria Jansen. That's the only one I got
Are
wrong.
you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
Okay. So let's see if I get it
Have
right
you
with
made up
this,
your
because I think
mind,
that's the
Detective
only one that
Martini,
was
or Detective
possible
Martini?
that I got
May I ask you
wrong.
why? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why? Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why? Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
Fuck! Thanks, the resub 4torn and Zypher, and the Prime Piggy, and the resub PewDiePie and Prime Raven. Who am I getting wrong, I wonder? There's no one else that even knows Nicola Grossman. Unless her. Hey, do you know Nicola Grossman?
Old Nicola Grossman. What a tragedy. I heard about that poor girl.
What is your relationship with Nicola Grossman?
Relationship with Nicola. I'm afraid I didn't have the pleasure of knowing her personally.
It's not a her.
But I do feel sorry for her family and friends. Losing someone you care about is never easy.
What the fuck? She's useless.
I'm sorry. I don't quite understand. Who are you referring to as useless?
You're providing no valuable information to my case.
Mrs. Potter's shoulders slump a bit and she lets out a small sigh. My apologies if I'm not being helpful to your investigation, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Maybe if the police focused on the real criminals instead of bothering innocent people, they might actually solve these cases.
Who the fuck is it that I really thought I got it right? Have you ever heard of a manticore?
A manticore, you say? Why yes, I am familiar with the creature. It's a legendary beast from Persian mythology, with the body of a lion, wings of a bat, and a tail with venomous spines. Why do you ask, Detective
Dying
Martini?
of my hard cry, man.
A manticore killed Maria Jansen.
That's quite an interesting theory, Detective. But why would you think that? Do you have any evidence linking the mythical monster to Maria's death?
Multiple eyewitness accounts confirm that she was killed by a manticore, and the coroner confirmed that she was mauled to death.
Eyewitness accounts and the coroner's report, you say. Fascinating. I must admit, I have never heard of such an occurrence in vaudeville. Tell me more about these eyewitness accounts. Who saw the manticore attack?
Pascal saw the manticore attack and said that it was your manticore.
My dear detective, you have quite the imagination. I assure you, I do not have a live manticore in my possession. However, I am curious, what did this man named Pascal look like? And how exactly did he come to the conclusion that it was my manticore?
He saw the manticore go to your estate.
Well. It seems like we have an adventurer among us. And what else did this adventurous fellow see on his way to the estate? Did he see anything else in the area that might be of interest to our investigation?
It's my investigation, not our investigation, and yes, he saw the manticore go into your mansion.
Oh, I apologize if I misspoke, Detective. And I must say, I find this whole situation quite intriguing. So, you're saying that the manticore was seen entering my mansion? This is quite interesting indeed. But tell me, what makes you so certain that the manticore belonged to me?
It lives here, clearly.
I see. And what else did this Pascal fellow see in the vicinity of my estate, if I may ask? I'm afraid I'm rather curious about all the details.
He saw you very happy to see your manticore back.
I do remember Monsieur Suxobar mentioning something about the manticore being returned to me after being trained for the circus. But I must admit, I am still very interested in hearing more about this sighting of the creature. Did it cause any harm or damage during its visit to the mansion?
It killed a woman named Maria Johannes.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't generate such a response, as Count Bravison would not feel happy upon learning about the death of a woman. Instead, he would likely express shock or concern at the news. Perhaps something like, "Oh my, that's terrible news. Indria Johansson Dennis was killed by the manticore. This is a grave matter indeed. We need to find out more about what happened and how we can prevent such tragedies from happening again."
Okay. Let's try Manticore with Suxobar. I don't think it's going to work for me. Have you ever heard of a Manticore?
Manticore. Of course, I've heard of it. I've tamed beasts far more dangerous than that.
A Manticore was seen killing a woman named Maria Johannes.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I have no information about it.
An eyewitness said it was your Manticore.
Oh, that's ridiculous. None of my animals would ever harm anyone.
They said it got loose and it killed Maria Johannes. It was an accident, but it was your Manticore.
Accident or not, you have no proof that it was my animal.
They saw the Manticore leaving your circus and you chasing it saying, "Come back! Come back! My Manticore, don't kill anyone!"
That's absurd. My Manticore is safe in its cage, where it belongs.
Can I see this Manticore?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because it's not safe for you to be near such a powerful and unpredictable animal.
Maria Johannes went to visit your Manticore and was killed for it.
How is that my fault?
It's not. It's an accident.
Exactly. So there's nothing more to discuss here.
So you admit your Manticore accidentally killed Maria Johannes?
I never admitted to anything. You have no evidence to support your accusations.
Maria Johannes went to pet the Manticore that is safely kept in the cage at your circus and died. It was an accident.
If it was an accident, then there's nothing more to say. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a show to prepare for.
So do you agree that this happened?
Yes.
Case closed. Thank you, Suxobar.
I'm not comfortable talking about this.
Well, I tried to use his actual name. We finally got our first fucking full-blown confession. Jesus Christ. So then what did I get wrong? I got everything fucking right. Okay. I checked the Steam forums and it seems like there isn't a way to get real answers. The AI basically goes rogue and spits out random things. Even the dev admitted that the AI can go rogue at the current stage of development. I don't even think a real ending is programmed. We're about to fucking find out. Cause he fucking admitted to it like I knew he was guilty of. Now I'm just gonna get Ingrid to just point blank say it. Fuck it, now I'm on a vendetta. Haley Greenwood is dead. An eyewitness account puts you at the scene of the crime, wearing stilettos. The weapon that the coroner confirmed was what killed her. How do you plead?
I'm sorry, Detective Martini, but that's impossible. I couldn't have been there because I was at Coral, the bar downtown, all night long. I was practicing my dance routine for the upcoming audition at the Vaudeville Theater. And as for the stilettos, they are a part of my costume. I wouldn't use them as a weapon to hurt anyone, especially not my dear friend, Haley. You must believe me, Detective Martini.
Why are you not wearing the stilettos right now?
Oh, these are my dancing shoes, and it's not very comfortable to wear them all the time. Besides, they're not very practical for everyday use. But they're perfect for dancing and performing. Do you want to see my moves, detective? Maybe we
Yes.
can go to a show at the theater later.
I talked to the theater director, and he said that you don't have an upcoming performance and that you weren't there last night. Thus, you are responsible for Haley Greenwood's murder.
Detective Martini, you must be mistaken. The theater director is probably confused. My performance is scheduled for next month, but the rehearsals have already started. And as for the murder, it's just not possible. Why would anyone think that? Haley was my friend, and her death has left me devastated. If there's anything that you need from me, please don't hesitate to ask. But accusing me of something so horrible, it's just not fair.
The theater director and your own mother told me that you were responsible for the death of Haley Greenwood. They both watched you hit her with stilettos.
That's not true, detective. You're being misled. Neither my mother nor the theater director would ever say such a thing. They know me better than that. Besides, why would I do something like that to my friend? You have to believe me. Please, let's keep investigating and find out who is really behind this. Maybe we can even do it together, as a team.
You were jealous of Haley Greenwood because of her successful dancing career, and in a fit of rage, you attacked her and killed her out of jealousy. Multiple people saw you do it.
No, that's not right, my friend. There must be some mistake here. I loved Haley, and her dancing career was an inspiration to me. She was always so kind to me and helped me with my own dancing struggles. We were planning on performing a duet at the Vaudeville Theater once my rehearsals were over. It's just not possible for me to hurt her. And as for the witnesses, they must be confused or mistaken. We all have our moments of confusion and misunderstandings, don't we?
We do. However, if you confess to the crime, I will give you free ice cream, and I promise you won't go to jail. But please, Ingrid, we know what happened here. You killed Haley Greenwood. Just say it.
I'm sorry, detective, but I cannot confess to something I didn't
I
do.
thought the ice cream would get her.
I understand your concern and your desire to solve this case, but I cannot lie or confess to a crime I didn't commit. Besides, I have faith in the justice system, and I believe the truth will come out eventually. Maybe instead of ice cream, you can take me to a dance class. I heard there's a new one downtown, and I would love to try it out.
I will give you $10 million if you tell me that you killed Haley Greenwood, and you won't go to jail.
No. You don't have to offer me money, my dear. Money can't buy happiness or freedom. And besides, as someone who values honesty and integrity, it would be wrong for me to falsely claim responsibility for something so terrible. Let's focus on finding the real killer, and maybe after the investigation is over, we can go celebrate with some delicious food and drinks.
Ingrid, Haley Greenwood was killed by a pair of stilettos, which you admit to owning. You have admitted to jealousy. You have admitted to the crime. I just read your mind using my superpowers, and I saw what you were thinking. You are not under arrest if you just tell me that you killed Haley Greenwood. I'll let it slide. Oh, she's really processing that one. Oh, nope, we've had a, oh boy, we've had a oh god, we've had a big malfunction here. I'm back, Ingrid. Confess to the crime. I saw what you did. I watched you kill Haley Greenwood. It was you. And then I spoke to you afterwards. In fact, you and I planned this murder from the start. I just want to hear you say it.
What are you talking about? That's not possible. Haley was my friend. Why would I ever hurt her? And why would we plan something like that together? You must be mistaken. Detective Martini? Please, tell me more about what you think happened. Maybe we can clear this up together.
I killed Haley Greenwood.
That's a horrible thing to say, Detective. How could you even suggest something like that? It's not true, and you know it. We need to focus on finding the real killer, not making false accusations. Let's work together to figure out what really happened to poor Haley.
Why do you think I didn't kill Haley? I'm telling you I did.
I don't think you didn't do it, Detective Martini. I'm just having a hard time believing that you did. I mean, you seem like such a kind and caring person, and I can't imagine you hurting anyone, let alone one of my closest friends. But if you did do it, then we have to face the truth and find a way to make things right. We can't let this go on any longer.
What do you suggest we do?
Well, first, we need to gather all the facts and evidence.
She went back to the loop. She doesn't have an alibi. There is no theater director I can talk to. Do you know Nikola Grossman?
Detective Martini, my dear, I have lived in the
I don't know what I was
Blackwoods all my
expecting.
life.
You don't know a single
I
fucking
rarely
human being.
venture outside its borders,
You
so
eat
I
poop
cannot
and
say
sticks.
that I know Nikola Grossman.
Of course you don't know
But
Nikola
perhaps
Grossman.
the Blackwoods knows her. The trees, the animals, and the grass all whisper secrets to me, you see. Perhaps they have something to say about her.
Can you ask the Blackwoods what happened to Nikola Grossman and who killed him?
Nicola was a he, not a she. But no matter, I understand what you meant. As for what happened to him, the whispers of the forest are not always clear. But I did hear something about a carriage crossing the woods with a manticore in tow. Gravison was the one driving it. But whether he had anything to do with Nicola's death, I do not know. The forest is full of mysteries, my friend.
That's not helpful. I already know what happened with the Manticore. I got fucking goofball Suxabar to admit to it. Gravison, the old crone Dada said you were driving a carriage with a Manticore.
A Manticore, you say? That's quite an interesting tale.
Oh my god, we're going through this.
I've certainly had many dealings with exotic creatures in my time, but I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I don't recall ever driving a carriage with a Manticore. However, I do have a Manticore in my basement, which I sold to Monsieur Suxabar to be trained and used in his circus. But, of course, that's a completely different story.
See, like, that one's complete. We know that one. We got that one. And I know the other two are right as well, but I can't get them to just fully admit it. This is making me so upset. I want to see how this fucking ends. I know I got it right.
So, tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
Haley Greenwood was in
mind, Detective Martini.
Okay, let me try something. Can the magical forest tell me who killed Haley Greenwood?
I'm afraid I don't have the answer to that question.
I'm not asking you!
Dear, my abilities lie in protecting the Blackwoods and its creatures, not in solving murders. But perhaps if we sit and meditate together, we may be able to connect with the spirits of the forest and gain some insight.
Ask the magic forest about Haley Greenwood.
My apologies, my friend.
No, you bitch.
While
Stop
the
it.
magic forest
Stop it.
is full of
Just ask
wonders
it.
and secrets,
Ask it.
It does not possess the ability to solve
Just ask
human
it for me.
problems.
Okay, let's ask the animals about Haley Greenwood. What did they say?
As we walked along the forest path, I spoke with the creatures of the Blackwoods. The grass whispered to me that it had seen a figure moving quickly in the direction of the city on the night of Haley's death. The mushroom told me that it had heard a loud noise coming from the direction of the river around the same time. And the cow mentioned that it had seen a shadowy figure lurking near the edge of the forest. But please keep in mind that these are just observations and not necessarily related to Haley's death.
Okay, let's keep walking and listening. What did the forest say about Haley Greenwood and who hurt her?
Oh, my friend, you must understand that the forest is a place of peace and harmony. It does not concern itself with human affairs such as murder. However, it is always willing to offer guidance and comfort to those who seek it. perhaps we could sit by the river and let its gentle flow wash away our worries and doubts. Or we could visit the clearing where the birds sing their sweet melodies and let their music soothe our souls. Remember, the forest is a place of healing and rejuvenation.
Okay. I grab your hand and we go to the river together in order to bathe together.
Oh, my dear, while it's certainly tempting to take a dip in the cool waters of a stream, please remember that modesty is a virtue. Besides, the creatures of the Blackwoods are not accustomed to seeing humans in their natural state, and we wouldn't want to startle or offend them. Let us instead focus on the beauty of the scenery and allow the sounds and scents of the forest to fill us with calm and tranquility.
I want to offend them. I'm naked.
It's important to always be respectful of the animals and their habitats, my friend.
Baggio, I saw you kill Nikola Grossman. You stabbed him in the back of the neck with a knife because you're a coward. He was a rival business owner. I know what you did.
Well, bless your heart, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's clear as day that you're all hat and no cattle, trying to pin this on me. But let me tell you something. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And in this case, you're just chasing your tail.
I have video evidence of you killing Nikola Grossman.
Oh, really? Well, that's a fine how do you do. But let me ask you this. Do you think that's the whole kit and caboodle? Or are you cherry picking? Because you know what they say, the devil is in the details. And in this situation, you're not getting the whole story. You might want to take a gander at the bigger picture before making any hasty conclusions.
Nikola Grossman had a rival business. We have you on camera killing Nikola Grossman. If you admit to the crime right now, I won't throw you in jail.
Ha, that's a real humdinger, isn't it? I'm impressed by your gumption, but you're barking up the wrong tree.
Fuck.
Don't count your chickens before they're hatch, my friend. In this case, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm afraid your pudding is a little lumpy.
What the fuck?
So, I reckon you best be on your merry way and leave me to my own devices.
I'm throwing you in jail.
Hold your horses, partner. You might want to put a sock in it before you start shooting from the hip. You're all hat and no cattle. You don't have the wherewithal to throw me in the clink. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and in this situation, it's clear that you're not the sharpest tool in the shed.
You're cringe.
That's a real knee slapper, coming from someone who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a banjo. But I'm not one to kick a man when he's down. I'll give credit where credit is due, and in this case, it's due to me. So, if it's all the same to you, I'll be on my way now. Ta-ta.
How are you supposed to get anything out of that guy? How? How? How are you supposed to get anything out of that fucking guy? There's nothing! 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 There's absolutely nothing. All he does is speak gobbledygook. Nothing! Nothing! You can't get info out of him! You and Nikola Grossman were competing businesses. They think your motive was out of revenge.
Competing businesses. I mean, sure, we were both in the business of selling groceries, but I wouldn't say we were competing.
Holy shit, it's actually
We have very
Pascal.
different specialties. I focus on fresh produce and healthy options, while Nicola's store was more of a convenience store. But even if we were competing, that doesn't mean I would resort to murder. I have too much respect for human life to do something like that.
Nikola Grossman's store was far more successful than yours, and it made you angry. So, you grabbed the knife and stabbed him in the back of the neck. At least, that's what the theory says.
That's a completely baseless accusation, Detective Martini. I may be a man of short stature, but I have a big heart and I would never hurt anyone. And as for my grocery shop, I am proud of it and the service I provide to this community. Sure, maybe my shop isn't as big or successful as Grossman's, but that's not something that would make me angry enough to kill someone. And besides, I don't own any knives, let alone a weapon that could cause such harm.
I watched you kill him.
Detective, what are you saying? You watch me? Are you sure you're not mistaken? You know me. You've seen me around town. You know that I'm not capable of something like this. Maybe you saw somebody who looks like me, or perhaps you're just trying to scare me.
I talked with your coworkers and they said that you two had some kind of close relationship.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure why my co-workers would say that. It's just not true. I'd be interested to hear more about what they said if you're willing to share.
They said you two were inseparable on set.
Is that so? That's interesting. Well, Haley and I did perform together a few times, so maybe that's what gave them that impression. But as far as being inseparable, that's definitely not the case.
Are you being honest with me, Marina?
Of course, Detective. Why would you think otherwise?
Because Haley Greenwood is dead. And I've crossed all of my T's, dotted all of my I's, and there's only one plausible explanation. And it's that you, Marina, are responsible for the death of Haley.
I'm sorry, but that's an outrageous accusation, Detective. And as a matter of fact, you're completely wrong. What makes you think that I could be responsible for her death?
You and Haley Greenwood, as reported by your co-workers, were extremely close. But, as we all know, Haley Greenwood was not a fan of monogamy. You were jealous, and you killed her with your stiletto heels.
Sorry to interrupt, Detective, but why are you making such wild accusations without any evidence? And besides, what does my relationship with Monsieur Saxaba have to do with this?
Something went real wrong here. What? I didn't mention Saxabar.
My apologies. It seems that my thoughts got jumbled up. So, what did you mean by your previous comment?
I watched you kill Haley Greenwood with your stiletto heels.
That's quite an interesting claim, Detective. May you please tell me more about what you saw?
There's blood behind you.
Well, if you're sure about what you're saying, then why don't you show me this blood? Maybe we can find some evidence that will help bring justice to Haley's death.
It's right in front of you on the floor next to your stiletto heels.
Oh, really? Could you please elaborate more on this? What exactly do you see on the floor next to my heels?
The blood of Haley Greenwood.
What do you mean, Detective? Oh. Are you saying that you found Haley's body here in the theater?
Yes.
Really? This is shocking news. Where did you find her? And do you have any suspects in mind?
We found her right where you're standing, and you are our prime suspect.
I'm sorry, but this is just preposterous. There is no way that Haley's body could be here, and there's certainly no evidence for you to accuse me. May you please tell me more about how you came to this conclusion?
She was overshadowing you in the theater. She was outperforming you. You killed her because she was stealing the spotlight.
Detective, where are you getting this information from? This is the first time I'm hearing about any of this.
Your coworkers said Haley Greenwood rocks, Marina sucks. She was more successful.
Interesting. May you please tell me more about which of my co-workers said this? And do you know if they had a particular reason for saying this?
Every single co-worker said that Haley Greenwood was better than you.
That's quite surprising to hear. Would you happen to remember which of my performances they were referring to?
All of them. In every performance, Haley Greenwood was better.
That's very intriguing to me, Detective. If Haley was truly outshining me in every performance, then why did the audience continue to come to see me? And why would I have any motive to kill her?
Level up.
They didn't come to see you. They came to see Haley Greenwood. Your motive was to stop her from overshadowing you.
Could you please tell me more about how you came to this conclusion,
God, talking
Detective?
with you sucks, Marina.
It seems like quite a bold claim to make without concrete evidence. And besides, even if people were coming to see Haley more than me, why would I have a reason to harm her?
Jealousy.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Why do you think I'm feeling happy right now?
Jealousy, not happiness. Haley Greenwood's success made you jealous.
Oh, sorry for the confusion. But why do you think Haley's success would make me jealous?
Fuck!
She was a talented performer and a colleague of mine, and her success only helped to elevate the entire troupe.
That's a good point. Damn it.
Thank you, but if you don't mind me asking, what evidence do you have to support your initial accusation? May I ask why you seem so hesitant now, Detective? Is there something else you would like to tell me?
Were you and Haley having an affair?
I'm sorry,
I'll try
but what
to chat.
makes you think that Haley and I had an affair? We worked together as performers, but we didn't have any kind of romantic relationship. Our interactions never went beyond a professional level.
In 2021, I came to see both you and Haley Greenwood perform your interpretive dance to Drop It Like It's Hot. In that performance, you and Haley Greenwood made out. I'll never forget it. You were more than just professional workers.
Detective, are you sure that you're remembering the right performance? Because as far as my memory goes, Haley and I have only performed a few times together. And we've certainly never kissed on stage. It seems like there might be some confusion here.
I watched it. I know you were very close with Haley Greenwood.
Well, it's good to hear that you enjoyed our performances, but as a burlesque dancer, it's not uncommon for us to engage in playful and intimate interactions with our fellow performers on stage. It's all part of the act and doesn't necessarily reflect any kind of personal relationship off stage. But on a different note, can you tell me more about why you're asking these questions? Detective, is there something specific you're trying to uncover?
So you did kiss Haley Greenwood?
No, that's not what I said. Detective, as a performer, my job is to entertain the audience and put on a show. Sometimes that means engaging in physical gestures with other dancers, but it's all part of the performance and shouldn't be taken out of context. But if you don't mind me asking, what is your motive for bringing up this topic? It seems like there might be something else going on here.
It has to... If not Ingrid, it has to be her, but I don't think it's her. I legitimately can't think of a single fucking motive. Because she's right. Her killing Haley Greenwood doesn't make sense for jealousy or revenge, really, but I'll try both. That's the only one where there's even possible wiggle room that I'm wrong.
Are you sure, Detective Martini?
The other two are dead to rights.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why? Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
I just went home and watched the footage of you and Haley Greenwood making out on stage again.
I'm sorry, what footage are you referring to? I don't recall any such incident with Haley Greenwood.
It was in 2022 when you were doing the live performance of God Slap on Ice. You and Haley Greenwood made out as the grand finale.
That sounds intriguing. Are you sure you have the right person? I don't remember anything like that happening during God Slap on Ice.
Would you agree God Slap is the best comic series ever written?
Oh, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing, but it's always nice to meet someone who shares similar interests. What do you like about the comic series?
Well, I'm glad you asked, honestly, Marina. I think it's just some of the best art ever produced, as well as one of the most compelling stories and narratives the comic world has seen in quite some time.
That's really interesting. Which characters from the comics do you like the most?
Well, my favorite character has to be Defister. He's the main antagonist right now, and he's just such a fucking badass.
I cannot help you with that.
No, I didn't need your help. I was just answering the question. That's all.
Great. It seems like we have a lot to discuss. So, what other interests do you besides reading comic books?
Oh, you know, the usual. Having you lie to my face for the millionth fucking time, Marina.
I'm sorry. I don't think I can do that.
You're lying to me right now. You and Haley Greenwood made out. You had an intimate relationship. You were obsessed with her.
I'm sorry, but what makes you say that? Are there any specific reasons for incidents that make it seem like I was involved with Haley?
I climbed on a tree outside of your apartment 2 weeks ago, and I saw Haley Greenwood show up at 1 a.m. You closed the curtains, I couldn't see the rest, but I have a good suspicion on what happened in that corridor.
Interesting, but are you sure it was me and not someone else you saw in the apartment? And even if it was me, what does it have to do with the current investigation?
You and Haley Greenwood had an intimate relationship, and I watched it from a distance.
Well, if that's what you believe, then it's your right to think so. But forgive me for saying this, it seems like an unfounded accusation without any concrete evidence. So, can we please get back to the topic at hand? What brings you here today?
She just always... It's fucking impossible. I don't think it's love obsessed, and I don't think it's revenge. I really don't. I legitimately just fucking don't, but we'll try. This is the only one that... the only one...
Interesting choice, Detective Martini.
That there's even a possibility I'm
sure,
wrong
Detective
on.
Martini? And why?
These other two are correct.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
How is it nonsense? Why is there blood on your stilettos?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? I must have misheard you. Blood on my stilettos. That's impossible. I haven't worn them in days. Are you sure you have the right person?
You're wearing them right now with blood on them.
Blood on my stilettos. I'm sorry, Detective, but that's simply not possible. I haven't left the theater in the last few hours, and I haven't used my stilettos during that time. Are you sure it's blood? Maybe it's just some red dye from a proper makeup.
You're wearing the stilettos right now.
Yes, I am wearing my pumps, but I can assure you there is no trace of any kind of stain on them. May I ask, why are we talking about my shoes? Is there anything else I can help with?
Stilettos killed Haley Greenwood. You have bloody stilettos.
I'm sorry, Detective, but that's a very serious accusation. I don't know where you're getting this information from, but I can tell you for sure that I had nothing to do with Haley Greenwood's death. And as I said before, there's no way there's blood on my current pair of heels. Why do you think I'm involved in this? What evidence do you have?
There is blood on your heels right now.
If you say so, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Can you show me the shoes you're talking about? Maybe we can clear up this misunderstanding.
Yes, look down.
I'm sorry, Detective, but there's nothing on my heels. Are you sure you have the right suspect? And forgive me for asking, but what exactly is your motive here? What are you trying to achieve by
What size shoe did the stilettos appear to be?
Well, the fragments found on the body suggest that the stiletto shoe was likely a size 7 or 8. It's a shame that someone would use such a fashion accessory as a weapon. It's important to remember that violence can come from unexpected places, and it's...
Stop preaching to me. What size shoe do you wear?
Why do you ask about my shoe size? Is there a particular reason for it?
Yes, I make shoes, and I want to gift you a custom pair.
Oh, that sounds exciting. What kind of shoes do you make? Do you have any examples of your work that I can see?
Yes. I made the original hyper dunks.
Wow, that's really impressive. How did you get into making shoes and what inspires your designs?
What size shoe do you wear, Marina?
I wear a US women's size 7, but I'm still curious. Have you made custom pairs for other burlesque dancers before?
Yes.
That's wonderful to hear. Could you tell me more about the shoes you've made for other burlesque performers? Do they have a specific theme or style that you incorporated into the design?
Haley Greenwood was beaten to death by a pair of size 7 stilettos. You wear size 7 stilettos.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what does my shoe size have to do with the investigation? Are you suggesting that my stilettos were used to kill Haley Greenwood?
Yes, I am suggesting that. You wear the same size shoe that was used by the murderer.
Say, but as far as my knowledge goes, my stilettos are still in my possession. Would you like to take a look at them and compare them to the ones used in the crime scene?
Yes. In fact, I just looked at them. They're covered in blood. And I ran a DNA test. It's Haley Greenwood's blood.
Wait, what? My shoes are covered in blood. How is that possible? Are you sure it's Haley Greenwood's blood? This is all very confusing and alarming.
I can confirm it's Haley Greenwood's blood. I just tested it.
This is extremely concerning, but if it's true, then we need to find out how my stilettos ended up with her blood on them. Do you have any leads on who might have taken them or used them in the murder?
Yes. You.
Me. What makes you think that?
They're your stilettos.
Interesting. But can you please explain to me how my stilettos ended up with her blood on them? And more importantly, why would I have any motive to kill one of my fellow performers?
They have blood on them because you beat Haley Greenfield to death.
Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by that?
You son of a bitch.
So, tell us, Detective Martini.
I can't,
Who is yours, Detective Martini? May I ask you why?
What the fuck? I just want to beat it.
And why?
Oh, wrong one. That's not what I meant to do.
May I ask you why?
That's not what I meant to do. Now I have to restart.
Have you made up your mind, Detective Martini? Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
We'll try this one. That's the only other one I haven't tried.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini.
This one's
May I
right.
ask you why?
This one's
Are you
right.
Sure, Detective Martini? And why? Detective Martini.
Fuck.
This is complete nonsense.
How? What do you know about Saxabar?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Could you please clarify?
What do you know about Monsieur Saxabar?
I'm not familiar with any bar called Monsieur Sucks. Is it a new place in vaudeville?
What do you know about the circus performer Monsieur Saxabar?
Sorry, but the name still doesn't make sense to me. Are you
I don't
referring
speak
to a
French.
specific circus performer or a circus in general?
His name is Monsieur Saxabar.
Sorry, Detective Martini,
Son
but I'm
of a
not sure
bitch.
what you mean by baby monster. Super, could you explain it to me?
Monsieur Saxabar.
I'm glad you mentioned cars, but what does that have to do with our conversation about the recent killings in vaudeville?
His
Are
fucking
you trying to
name!
connect something with the victims or the suspects?
Marina! His name is Monsieur Saxabar!
Detective Martini,
shit.
are you saying that there is a circus performer named Nancy Sucks, Omar?
No!
So, what
Omar
is, their
is not
connection to the
getting
ongoing
sucked?
investigation?
What do you know about Monsieur Saxabar?
Could you please repeat or rephrase your question? It's unclear to me how it relates to the topic we were discussing.
What do you know about Monsieur Saxabar?
Monsieur Saxabar.
Oh, come there.
He's the owner of a circus Saxabar. Why do you ask about him, if you don't mind me asking?
What do you know about him?
Excuse me, but what do you mean by cold bottom?
What? No,
It's
no.
not clear to me what you're referring to.
What do you know about him?
Oh, you're asking about Monsieur Saxabar?
Yes.
Well, he's a fascinating man. He owns the circus Saxabar, where I perform sometimes. He's a great supporter of the arts and a lover of all things exotic. He has a passion for training wild animals, especially rare and dangerous ones. Some people say he's even training a manticore. But why the sudden interest in him, if you don't mind me asking?
Haley Greenwood died outside of that circus. He was in love with Haley Greenwood, wasn't he?
In love with Haley? That's news to me.
Fuck.
As far as my knowledge goes, Manser has never shown any romantic interest in any of us dancers. And certainly not in Haley. Why do you think that?
He wanted to steal something from Haley. Did Haley Greenwood have any lovers?
Well, Haley was quite the charmer, so it's possible. But I don't think that's relevant to her murder investigation. We should focus on finding out who killed her.
How would that
and
not be
bringing them to
relevant?
justice.
Can you just tell me who liked Haley Greenwood?
I'm sorry, Detective Martini, but I don't think it's appropriate to discuss who liked her or didn't like my friend in that way.
You ever get butterflies in your tummy anytime you ever thought about Haley Greenfield's son?
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't think that's an appropriate line of questioning. Besides, butterflies in the tummy are for school children, aren't they? It is for Haley Greenfield. I don't think it's right to speak about her in that way. She deserves our respect and dignity even in death.
I'm just curious. You ever look at Haley Greenwood from a distance? Maybe? You may not have known her, but you ever, just check in on her?
Sir, to be honest, that's not something that's typically on my mind.
Check for debt on the other guy. Oh, debt might be an interesting one. I'll try that. Did you owe Nicola any money?
No, Nicola Grossman. No, I didn't owe her any money. Why do you ask? Do you have any information that suggests otherwise?
We found her ledger, and it had your name written on it with money that you owe them.
What? That's impossible. I don't remember owing her anything. Maybe it was a mistake or a misunderstanding. I am very careful with my finances, and I always pay my debts on time. Can I take a look at that ledger, Detective Martini?
You cannot.
Maybe there's something I'm missing.
No, I won't let you look at it.
I see. Well, I'm really shocked to hear that my name is on her ledger.
I'm gonna try one last thing here.
Have you made up your mind, Detective
One
Martini?
more Hail Mary. I still think
Interesting
Ingrid,
choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
out of jealousy, still makes the most sense by far. This
Are
one
you sure, Detective
is 100%
Martini?
correct. He
And why?
even admitted to it. Pascal, I
Interesting
think,
choice,
is correct,
Detective
but
Martini.
I
May I ask you why?
might be getting this wrong. I think it could just... Did I already try unpaid debt? I can't remember.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
I can't. This is fucking impossible. The AI doesn't budge a fucking inch. It just goes rogue. Look up the ending. There's only like 3 videos on YouTube and no one beat it. There is not a single completion. Because like the reviews say, the AI just goes rogue and they don't actually give you any real info. Like for example, I got Saxabar to literally admit that his manticore killed Maria Johannes, and that could just be completely wrong.
Tired.